All right, welcome back to another video. Before we get started, make sure you like, subscribe, comment. Now, enjoy this video. All right, we're back for week 10 of my 5 NFL thoughts. As you know, every single week, I give you 5 NFL thoughts from that particular week. Let's jump right into it with thought number 1. The Baltimore Ravens are starting to look like the team most people thought they would look like at the beginning of the year. And it's a couple different things why they're starting to look like the team we thought they would look like at the beginning of the year. Starting with getting Lamar Jackson back from that hamstring injury. His presence alone is a game changer. When he is on the field, teams have to play the Baltimore Ravens differently. He causes so many problems on the football field that teams just have to play this team differently. I don't know if there's a singular offensive force like Lamar Jackson in the entire NFL. He's a singular force that you don't really see in football. You don't really see one guy change a team like Lamar Jackson does, in my opinion. He's that good. He's that important to the Baltimore Ravens. He means that much. He is that much of a game changer when he is on the field. And now that they have him back from that hamstring injury, they become dangerous on the offensive side of the ball. Because now Derrick Henry, as great as Derrick Henry is, he becomes 10 times more dangerous with Lamar Jackson. So does Zay Flowers. So does Rashad Bateman. So does DeAndre Hopkins. Just getting Lamar back changes everything for this offense. And then I think another reason why they're looking like the team we thought they would look like is that defense. That defense has been playing outstanding football the last 3 weeks. They've been tackling well. They haven't been giving up big plays, which they were early on in the year. They were horrible at the beginning of the year. It felt like anybody could score 30 plus on them. It was easy for teams to score, easy for teams to move the ball. Now that's not the case. They're starting to get more pressure on quarterbacks. They're not allowing quarterbacks to just stand back there and pick them apart. So those are the two things. Getting Lamar back on the offensive side of the ball and for the whole team, and then this defense taking 2-3 steps from where they were at the beginning of the year. That's what's made this team look scary. That's what's made this team look like a premier team in the NFL. And I'll just say this. Nobody is going to want to play this team down the stretch. Because when they're at their best, when the Baltimore Ravens are at their best, I think they have as high of a ceiling as anybody in the NFL. They're that good. I think they beat basically everybody if they play their absolute best. That's how highly I think of the Baltimore Ravens. And that's how good I think they actually are. Thought number 2. I can't believe how good Drake Maye looks in year 2. I just have to say that. I cannot believe how good he looks. He looks outstanding. From where he was his rookie season to where he is now, it's incredible. He looked lost at times last year. His feet were sloppy. He was turning the ball over left and right, it felt like. He was making constant mistakes game in and game out. But his improvement, he looks like a superstar quarterback. Not just a star, he looks like one of those top 5 guys in the NFL. That's what he looks like. And I have to think, what a difference a coach makes for quarterbacks. Getting Mike Vrabel and him bringing in Josh McDaniels for Drake Maye has been huge for Drake Maye's development. Because Josh McDaniels knows not to put everything on Drake Maye. He understands, okay, let's run the ball. Let's take pressure off Drake Maye. Sure, when Drake Maye needs to make a play, we'll let him make the play, and he can make that play. But let's not put it all on Drake. I think the coaching staff has done a great job at not making Drake feel like everything's on him. And he's avoiding the big mistakes. That, to me, is what's taken his game to the next level. The problem with young quarterbacks is they make the big mistake too often, and he's avoided that this year. He is legitimately in consideration to be named MVP of this league, which is crazy in year 2. His development and his jump from last year to this year has been a crazy thing to watch. I watched him against Tampa Bay, and he was the best quarterback on the field with Baker Mayfield. And I think highly of Baker Mayfield. But Drake Maye was a step above. A step above. And it's not like Drake's playing with outstanding players around him yet. They put a decent team around him, but they haven't put an all-time great team or outstanding weapons. They put good, but not great. And this is what he's doing. He looks like an absolute superstar. Thought number 3. Matthew Stafford is playing on another level right now from any other quarterback. I just talked about Drake Maye. Yes, he's playing like a superstar. But Stafford's playing on another level. He looked amazing against the San Francisco 49ers. He looked like on a different level. And to me, the biggest thing for Stafford is, does he get protection? Because if he gets protection, he can pick defenses apart with the best of them. And that to me has been the difference from this year to the past few years, is they're protecting Matthew Stafford. They're giving him time. They're allowing routes to develop down the field so Stafford can pick defenses apart. And another thing, when he has that protection, he feels healthy now. Whereas the last few years when he hasn't had the protection, it always feels like he's battling something, some sort of injury that's limited him to making great plays or limiting him to make the plays that he needs to make. For me, for Stafford, the protection has been everything. Sure, yes, he has the weapons, but for him to play on this level, he needs protection because he doesn't use his legs. He's not a Mahomes. He's not a Lamar. He's not a Josh Allen. He needs protection, and this year he's gotten it, and that's taken his game to the next level. He's the favorite to win MVP right now. He just is. Drake's in consideration too, but Matthew Stafford is the favorite. He leads the NFL in touchdown passes with a good ratio. I think he's only thrown 2 interceptions, so he has a great ratio. It's not like he's thrown a ton of touchdowns and a ton of interceptions. He hasn't. They got their weapons around him. Watch out for Stafford and the Rams because they can make a lot of noise down the stretch. Thought number 4. The Green Bay Packers offense should not look this bad. It has looked atrocious. And it should not look this terrible. They have way too much talent on that side of the ball. They have a good play caller. Their personnel is excellent. Like, why are they looking this terrible? Now, one, I think Jordan Love hasn't been as good as people thought he should be or is. And then I think also the play calling hasn't been great. But that shouldn't be the case because LaFleur's a really good play caller. And Jordan Love can be a top 7 quarterback in football. Like, I just don't get how this offense has looked this terrible. It makes no sense to me. It's not like it's been average. It has been awful the last 2 games against Carolina and Philadelphia. It hasn't even looked okay. It's looked terrible. And it just shouldn't look this bad. You have way too good of players on that side of the ball to look that awful. Way too good of players and a good enough play caller and a good scheme to look that bad. You should be scoring more than 7 points in a football game with that level of talent on that side of the ball. The only thing you can say they're missing is like a legit number 1 receiver that can beat any coverage. That's probably the only thing they're missing on the offensive side of the ball. Other than that, they have basically everything. They have the talent. They have the scheme. They have the play caller. What is going on with this offense? They better figure it out, or else I could see changes coming to the Green Bay Packers. My 5th and final thought here in week number 10, here it is, thought number 5. The Seattle Seahawks are the team to watch out for in the NFC. They just are. No, I don't think they're the favorites. I think that's probably still Philly. And then I would say the Rams. I would say those 2 teams are above the Seahawks. But the Seahawks are the sneaky team that everybody needs to look out for. They're that team that can beat anybody because they have a really good defense with a good scheme and a good coach coaching that defense. and their offense has been excellent. Sam Darnold is playing like a top 5 quarterback this year with Jackson Smith and Jigba. They added Shaheed at the trade deadline. They can run the football with Kenneth Walker. They have a good offensive line. All 3 phases of that football team is really good. They have a good coach. Like, this is the team that you need to watch out for. This is the team that can make a run that nobody's talking about. Again, they're not better than the Rams, and they're not better than the Eagles yet. But to me, they're the team to watch out for. They're the team that could do some damage in the playoffs because they're solid in all 3 phases. They can win different football games, and that's rare in teams. Some teams need to win a certain way. Teams need to play a certain way to win. The Seahawks can play a lot of different ways and still find ways to win. But that's my NFL thoughts. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, and have an awesome day.